Hi guys, hope you're well. I'm sorry if the camera angling of my phone here in my car isn't very ideal. It's just I want to make this video here and now. It's kind of a rush when I was in my car. I thought I'd use natural light instead of having to use the light in my living room at home, and by the time I get home from work it'll be so dark. So I apologise for the glare of my glasses. So in this video I want to talk about Dr. Dan Erickson, a doctor from the United States, specifically the California area of the United States. Now, he has been brought to the limelight in the US because there was a video that himself and his colleague recently uploaded, which received a lot of millions of views, went viral on YouTube, and they were talking about the coronavirus and the lockdown, whether the lockdown was very effective in helping reduce the number of deaths in the US and elsewhere in the world. Of course, the video was deleted. Likewise, David Icke's video, the interview that he recently did with London Real, and again, it does arouse people's suspicions to why, as to what's really going on, and what is this lockdown really all about? This coronavirus, is it really as bad as what they're saying it is? So I'm just going to play you a short clip from the interview he did for a particular YouTube channel. So just bear with me.
Strategist to President Donald J. Trump. This is America First on the Salem Radio Network. We are back with emergency physician, the co-owner of Accelerated Urgent Care, Dr. Daniel Erickson, who's made a name for himself by just giving us the facts, the bare minimum of what everybody should know when it comes to the COVID-19 coronavirus. One of the key aspects of your original video, before it was deleted with millions and millions of views, was this concept that had been floating around in the media, Doctor, of herd immunity. And your video, I have to say, as somebody who's been following this very closely as a national radio host, yours was the clearest explication of what herd immunity is and why it's important. Will you explain to our listeners again what staying at home and isolating yourself does to your immune system, and what the concept of herd immunity means when you're facing a virus?
So since my video, I've really been watching the epidemiologists and infectious disease doctors and really asking and listening to how they're answering questions. And Dr. Witowski, who's a brilliant biostatistician out of New York, I said, is there good data for this sort of shelter in place? I mean, I understand the original concept. We saw what was happening in Wuhan and said, let's separate ourselves, let's see what happens. And after a couple months of data, I said, Dr. Witowski, do you think we should be sheltering in place? And his answer was, all that will do was it will flatten the curve, which lengthens the disease process. So how does herd immunity work? Herd immunity is, we do this every year, where the influenza comes in, we share it with each other. Some people are vaccinated, which gives them IgG immunity, which is long-term immunity, and some people get the virus from other people. And usually when the community gets 60 to 80%, is what the epidemiologists have told me, the virus burns out. So the vaccine helps us get to a position of herd immunity where the virus burns out quicker. That's the benefit of the vaccine. If you don't have the vaccine, then it's spread person to person until it gets to a level where it doesn't have enough people to jump to and it dies out. So when you flatten the curve, you essentially lengthen the disease cycle, and we haven't really done this before. So the epidemiologists are telling me we could get a secondary spike. Why? Because people look at, say, Norway versus Sweden, and they say, aha, you see less death. And the epidemiologists go, well, of course, everybody's cowering in their homes. So as we come out from our sterile environment, our Lysol wipe down counters, our people not touching each other situation, this virus will probably indeed spike. And our hospitals in Kern County have surge capacity. They are ready. I've talked to them. So herd immunity, the virus doesn't care if you're hiding. The virus will get herd immunity no matter what we do. And the epidemiologist, Dr. Giseki, infectious disease, world-renowned, has said, I don't think it's going to matter much. So my question is, if it's not going to matter much whether we sheltered in place, should we be destroying the economy and dropping $2 to $4 trillion? Is the collateral damage indeed worse than the virus itself?
That is what the president asked in a tweet about a month ago. Is the cure worse than the disease? In the last few minutes we have with you, Dr. Erickson, in this segment, also explain to us, because this was fabulous in your original video, some people say it's never going to be the same. We're going to come out of this and we're not going to shake hands and we'll be wiping everything down with Lysol. What does it do to our immune system if we perpetuate these concepts of an aseptic world?
I like using the child example. When you're a little child crawling on the ground, you're putting stuff in your mouth, you're picking up viruses and bacteria. You form antigen-antibody complexes, and your immune system is built. If you isolate a child in some kind of a hamster roller and don't allow their immune system to build, you indeed weaken them. So this is not a policy I've ever read about in my microbiology, and I'm not exactly sure where it's coming from.
But that's not to say, and let's be clear, because we know the trolls are already getting ready, Dr. Erickson, this doesn't mean that those who are vulnerable, those who are immunosuppressed, shouldn't be protected or shouldn't be isolated in some way. What we're talking about is healthy individuals and how a healthy immune system operates. Is that correct?
That's correct, and everybody knows that. It's when you have an illness, everybody knows you stay away from grandma. And if you have someone who's on immune, modulatory drugs, this is common sense. You protect the elderly and the immune compromised. You isolate the sick. You don't isolate the healthy.
Yeah, it is, again, common sense, something that in the last few weeks has seemed to be incredibly rare on the ground. I'm Sebastian Gorka. This is America First on the Salem Radio Network. If you like.
So there you have it. Straight from the mouth of a medical professional. So, at first when this thing was just coming about and it was a new thing, I was under the impression, okay, this is going to get serious. And initially, I thought, no, it's something to just come and go, and everything just resumed back to normal again. But that was not the case. When the death toll was at, let's say, 50 or 60 people dead, we thought, no, that will be okay. That will be this is something that we can handle, and things will get back to how they were before, just with the status quo. But clearly, that's not been the case. Here in the UK, our death toll, as they're saying, today was confirmed to be 34,000, and as I'm saying this to you now, potentially it could be far higher. But the point was, again, I re-emphasize the point of making this video was basically the lockdown that we've had here in the UK, in the US, and elsewhere in the world, wherever you go, has it been worth it? Because the economies of the global economy now is very much is now very very damaged. It's not in a good place. A lot of people lost their jobs. Banks and companies, organizations will now need massive bailouts from the governments, otherwise they'll go bust and people will be left redundant. And I've also heard, I won't play the full video, the full interview, but it has mentioned in this interview by Dr. Erickson that there have been some individuals who, because they've been made redundant by their employer, they've actually committed suicide. So things are that bad. And people's mental states of mind, their mental well-being has been greatly affected by what's been going on, particularly the lockdown. So, I do appreciate that the government was doing this, and some people may believe it came from a good place to save as many lives as possible. I thought that as well in the beginning, but I think now I've changed my mind, because while we've had the lockdown, there's a lot of suspicious things that have been going on. Again, the airports, for much of the lockdown that we've been having here in the UK, are still open. People are still coming and going in and out of our country as they please. So I wouldn't even say that we've had a proper, pure, thorough lockdown, because it just hasn't been. If you look at the circumstance and the relative factors. So, I'm going to wind the video up here, guys. Don't want it to be too long. I know that so far on my channel, I do seem to be talking about just random things here and there, But again, I want my channel to be something whereby I just express my opinion about certain things, about my certain interests, and I just want to share with people, and just hear what they think as well. So, you know, on my channel I talk about sports, technology, entertainment, which includes music, and, you know, again, sports, so I just pointed out, which will include things such as MMA, football, and rugby. So yeah, please leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks.